Dr. Shogun, my first question is, you're not an archivist, a librarian, or a historian. So could you tell the committee what experience and skills that you're going to be bringing to the role of Archivist of the United States?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that question. As I stated in my opening statement, I bring over 15 years of experience in the government sector and in the nonprofit sector in increasing positions of importance. I bring management and supervisory skills to the table, working in all facets of government, including 8 years at the Congressional Research Service, 4 years at the Library of Congress in senior executive positions, and then for the past 3 years as the Senior Vice President at the nonpartisan nonprofit, the White House Historical Association. I also think I do have a very relevant educational background to serve as the Archivist of the United States. I'm not a historian, I am a political scientist, but my areas of expertise were in American politics, in political philosophy, and in methodology, and I've really focused on the intersection of political science and history, and that has been where my work has focused, which gives me a very good background in the history of ideas and institutions. And lastly, I would highlight that I've performed many of these roles, particularly for the past 15 years, in organizations which their principles and values, most importantly, were of nonpartisanship.
Shogun, your outreach and engagement with the public are absolutely essential parts of NARA's work. If confirmed, what are your priorities for educational outreach?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that question. This brings a lot of excitement and energy to me because I think that all of our students, all the way from students in elementary school, all the way to graduate students, my vision, my hope is that they will turn to the National Archives first when they are engaging in research and exploration related to social studies, to American history, to civics. I know in this country we do have what some people have referred to as a deficit in a knowledge of American history and in civics. And that is improving and is getting better. But the National Archives can play a major role in helping to close this deficit. And if I am confirmed, I look forward to looking to all kinds of third-party partnerships that would enable more access, more knowledge to students about the treasures. There's over 205 million records online through the National Archives in the catalog. That's just amazing. It is the largest online archive in the world. It's unbelievable. And we need to make sure that we're making use of those records, making sure that they're available to students. And the way we do this is directly to students, but it's also through teachers. And so I would also want to evaluate our teacher professional training outreach. I know that this has been ongoing at the archives. I would like to increase that outreach, increase opportunities for professional training for teachers to use our records in the classroom, and I'd also like to bring back in-person training for teachers to the National Archives, if confirmed.
Great. The next question relates to a problem that has to be resolved. It's an issue incredibly important to me, I think every member on this committee as well. And that issue is that NARA is currently facing a backlog of over 300,000 requests for military service records. Now, I was glad to see that last week NARA released a plan to eliminate the backlog by December of this year. Hopefully that will be accomplished. But I think I'd like to hear, if confirmed, what steps you're going to take to ensure that that goal is actually met.
Thank you for that question. This issue is of utmost importance to me. I come from a family of veterans. My father was a veteran. My uncles were veterans, my sister-in-law, and it is of utmost importance. This goes right to the heart of access. Veterans need access to these records so they can claim the benefits that they are guaranteed because of their service to this country. So if I am confirmed as Archivist of the United States, I view this as being a discrete problem of the first magnitude. I plan to travel to the National Personnel Records Center, which is located outside of St. Louis, and be able to view the procedures and processes that are in place right now. They are, as you said, Mr. Chairman, making good progress, and the goal is to reduce and eliminate that backlog by December of 2023, but I would want to travel there and see the processes in place, see what else can be done so that we can speed up that deadline.
I'm sure that if confirmed, you're going to play a key role in the transition to digital records across the scope of the federal government. Can you describe your experience leading efforts to expand digital resources as well as outreach?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you for that question. I was lucky enough to be very much involved for the very origins of digital outreach and transformation at the Library of Congress. Was very much involved in the drafting of the first digital strategy at the Library of Congress. And I would also point to my current position. As you know, COVID really removed a lot of in-person interactions after its inception. And I think everybody that was working in cultural or historical institutions was faced with the prospect of having to get their information out in ways that they had never approached before. So we were very, very aggressive in this regard at the White House Historical Association. It took a lot of time and effort, but we were able to do things such as go into the White House and create a very innovative 360-degree tour of the White House that we were able to put online, and we were able to engage with students and teachers. And we've made use of that 360-degree tour even, now that people are back in person with COVID, because we know there's people that can't travel to visit the White House. So I would hope to make creative endeavors like the ones that I've done in my previous positions, and to apply those principles and strategies to the National Archives so we could share the National Archives with as many Americans as possible, hopefully in person, but also, of course, through digital means.
Thank you, Dr. Strickland. Thank you for the answers to my questions. I now recognize Ranking Member Paul for his questions.